What's the real difference between, say, a rock and a rabbit, or a statue and a sunflower? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is the ability to react. Today, we're diving into one of the absolute cornerstones of being alive, how organisms respond to their world. It really boils down to this simple, constant two-step that every living thing does: stimulus and response. Let's get into it. And just so you know, the material for today's explainer comes from part 13 of a fantastic 20-part introduction to biology from Virtualization Options LLC. We're really focusing in on this chapter because, honestly, it tackles a concept that just defines what it means to be alive.
Okay, let's start with something we've all pretty much experienced. Imagine you touch a hot stove. Before your brain even has time to register, hey, that's hot, your hand is already shot back, right? What's going on there? That incredible, lightning-fast reaction. Well, that's the perfect doorway into our whole topic today.
So, to really get what's happening, we need to know two key terms. In that stove example, the intense heat, that's the stimulus. It's the change in the environment that your body can detect. And your hand pulling away, that's the response. It's such a simple, beautiful system. A stimulus triggers a response. And this isn't just about avoiding burns. This cycle is happening all the time, in every living thing you can imagine.
But that brings up a really good question. How does an organism even know there's something to react to in the first place? I mean, before any response can happen, there's a super critical first step. You've got to have the right gear to pick up the signal.
And that right there is the key. You absolutely have to detect something first. You can't react to it if you don't know it's there. It's always a two-part deal. First detection, then reaction. And life has come up with this incredible toolbox for doing just that.
We all know the big ones, right? Our eyes are built to detect light, our ears for sound waves, taste buds for chemicals. But the toolkit is so much bigger than that. Your skin is just loaded with receptors for touch and temperature. And here's what's just mind-blowing. Even a single-celled organism, with no eyes or ears or anything, can sense tiny chemical changes in the water and move towards food or away from poison. Sensing is truly universal.
Okay, so now let's see how this all plays out in the animal kingdom. Because for animals, being able to react fast isn't just a nice skill to have. It's often the difference between living and, well, not.
So how do they pull it off? How do animals get these almost instantaneous reactions? Well, the secret ingredient is the nervous system. The best way to think about it is like a super sophisticated network of high-speed biological wiring. It zaps signals all over the body in fractions of a second, coordinating absolutely everything.
And this is exactly why that speed matters so much. Out in the wild, a millisecond can be the difference between catching your meal and becoming someone else's meal. These quick, precise reactions are absolutely non-negotiable for survival.
The source material really nails it with this image. When you picture a cheetah just exploding from a standstill to chase down prey, what you're seeing is a masterclass in stimulus and response, happening at mind-boggling speed. That's the nervous system firing on all cylinders.
But what about life that doesn't have a nervous system? Let's totally switch gears and look at the plant kingdom, where the response game is played in a completely different way. Much, much slower.
And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. Animals use that fast electrical wiring of the nervous system for immediate reactions. Plants, though, they play the long game. They rely on a much slower chemical-based system using hormones. Their response isn't about a split-second escape. It's a long-term strategy, played out over hours, days, or even weeks.
These slow, deliberate movements in plants have a name: tropisms. You've definitely seen phototropism. That's a plant leaning towards a sunny window. But they also respond to gravity, which is how they know to send roots down and stems up. And some, like vines, can even respond to touch, wrapping themselves around things for support.
Now, it might not have the high-stakes drama of a cheetah hunt, but for a plant, slowly turning its leaves toward the sun is just as critical for survival. It's a life-or-death move to get as much sunlight as possible to make energy. It's a different pace, but the goal is exactly the same: stay alive.
Okay, so far we've mostly talked about reacting to things on the outside. Heat, light, predators. But there is a whole other universe of responses happening inside our own bodies, 24/7, without us ever having to think about it.
Seriously, think about it. When you start running, you don't consciously tell yourself, okay, body, time to up the breathing rate. It just happens. Your body just does it. This is a perfect example of your internal systems automatically responding to an internal stimulus.
So here's how that automatic process works. As you exercise, your muscles burn through oxygen, so the oxygen level in your blood drops. That's the stimulus.
Special receptors in your body detect this change and send an alert to your brain. The response? Your brain tells your lungs to get to work and breathe faster. And the result is, your oxygen levels go back to normal. This whole process of keeping your internal environment stable is called homeostasis, and it is absolutely essential.
And really, that's the whole point of this internal autopilot. It's this constant, silent system working behind the scenes to keep everything on the inside running smoothly, no matter what's going on outside.
So at the end of the day, here's the big takeaway. Whether it's happening at the breakneck speed of a predator or the slow, deliberate pace of a plant, this fundamental ability to sense what's happening and react accordingly is what makes living things, well, living. It's what brings life to life.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Maybe it's one of those sensitive plants that curls up the instant you touch it, or a huge flock of starlings turning on a dime in the sky. Think about it for a second. What's the most incredible example of stimulus in response you've ever seen? Once you start looking, you'll see them everywhere.